Hi guys! Today I'm going to be doing a book review on a book that I've read recently called Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinsborough. Behind Her Eyes, written by Sarah Pinsborough, is a psychological thriller that was marketed as another Gone Girl or Girl on the Train. It was even marketed with the hashtag WTF that ending. A lot of people were actually left really disappointed with the ending and with the big twist for reasons that I'll get into later, but I'll let you know before the spoilers start happening. So, to summarize this book, Louise is our main character, and she's a divorced, single mom of a young boy named Adam. Louise works as a medical secretary, and one night she goes out to a bar and meets a funny, sophisticated guy named David. She ends up sleeping with him, and then the next day finds out that he is her new boss. A little while later, she meets a woman named Adele. She finds out that Adele is actually David's wife, but she continues to begin a friendship with her anyway, even though she does continue to see David. Adele, we learn, is very skittish and obsessive, and we learn pretty quickly that Adele and David's marriage is not quite normal. But throughout this entire book, you can never quite figure out who to trust and who not to trust. So I have always wanted to meet a book club, but I'm not the most social person, so I thought, what a better way to have a book discussion than to sit here by myself with a camera and talk about a book. So I will be going into spoilers at this point, so if you have not read this book, I do recommend reading it, and I would go read it and then come back to this video, hear my thoughts, and let me know what you think. So first, I'm going to tell you what I thought the big twist ending was going to be. I thought that Adele was going to kill herself and then set Louise up to take the fall for it. I started thinking this at the point where we kind of figured out that Adele was somehow spying on Louise and David, and I thought this all the way up until the point where Louise was just about to switch bodies with Adele, and then Adele ejected herself with the meth. So the true ending, Rob is Adele, who is now Louise. I did not see that coming at all. I, like most people, didn't quite like that it crossed over into the supernatural. I did feel like it was almost kind of cheating. You're going into it thinking it's a psychological thriller, and then the huge twist is just a kind of a made-up thing. I do understand why people were very upset. However, I did go into it looking for a huge twist, and I did not guess what it was going to be. So I do feel like I did get that true twist. In my opinion, I was satisfied with it. So, a couple things did annoy me about this book. Number one, Adam. Why was he even in this book? He conveniently just got sent away for an entire month during most of the plot and then was just brought back in at the end. I feel like Louise was continually putting herself and therefore her son in these really dangerous situations, and she just did not care. She did not take him into consideration whatsoever. And I think a lot of people, I know that I was really bothered at the end when Rob, Adele, Louise made that comment about getting rid of Adam. Like, just don't put him in the book at all. I'm not sure why he was needed in there. The second thing that annoyed me was the whole concept of lucid dreaming. I get that we had to have this in there in order for the twist to actually come to fruition, but every time I had to say the words second door in my head, I just felt really silly about it. I also thought it was really convenient how David just happened to fall in love with two girls who had night terrors. And again, to bring up Adam, why couldn't Louise go and get some professional help for these night terrors so she could stop scaring the living shit out of her kid? Like, come on girl, get it together. One other thing that I really wish we would have gotten more from the book was a backstory on Rob. How did he get this way? I feel like pretty early off in the book, I kind of wrote Rob off as an unimportant character, and I didn't really think that much about him. I thought he was only pushing the story forward in the fact that he was maybe going to teach Adele how to do something with her dreams, when in reality it was actually the other way around. But I wish we had known why and how he got so obsessive over things. I do think that the character of Anthony was used as kind of a mirror character to Rob, but I also feel like we didn't get a good explanation behind Anthony. Why did Anthony get so easily obsessed over David and then have that obsession switch over to Adele, which was the opposite of Rob, who became obsessed with Adele and then had that switch over to David. I just wish we went a little bit deeper there after we figured out what had happened. Something that I really did like about the book is that I think the author wrote the manipulation beautifully. I feel like I was engaged all the way through the book, and there weren't those like 20 to 50 pages within a book where you just kind of want to read every other paragraph. Not that I do that, but I just felt like I really was engaged. And I was going back and forth the whole book trying to figure out what was going on, if Adele was telling the truth, if David was telling the truth, if Louise, you know, had a mental disorder and this whole thing was just one of her dreams. You know, I think that she did a really good job keeping the reader engaged. Another thing that I liked about the book was Rob being gay the entire time. I feel like the author put in so many hints about this and I never picked a single one up. She kept saying how Rob was attracted to Adele but didn't want to have sex with her, and it was just kind of like you thought maybe he was just a teenage boy, didn't really know what was going on. But I liked the fact that she did drop hints, and I think there was a small possibility maybe that you could figure out what was going to happen, but I didn't pick up on it at all. Overall, I really did like the book. I tend to read fiction solely for entertainment purposes. I'm the type of person who picks up a book and then reads it within a 24-hour period of time. So if the book can keep me fully entertained during that period of time, I'm usually pretty happy with it. And I feel like this did. I was engaged, I kept guessing what was gonna happen, and then the twist was really a twist. It wasn't something that I saw coming. A lot of people claim that this book was a waste of their time because it was marketed as a psychological thriller, and in reality it had elements of paranormal in it. But honestly, I probably just would have spent the time watching YouTube videos. So overall, I still do give this book a 4 out of 5. So what did you think? Did you like the book overall? Did you like the ending? Did you see it coming? Did it anger you? And for the love of God, why couldn't Adam just go live with his dad? Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any other book suggestions for me. I love reading, and I would love to kind of form a community talking about what you're reading, what I'm reading, and what we all think of it. So let me know if you have any thoughts, and I will see you next time. Overall, I would say I really did like the book. I tend to read I can't say fiction.